2004 and 2014 during the UPA years. I don't know, viewers, but certainly there were fewer cases. Again, let's have a look at the assets values that have been attached by the Enforcement Directorate. Under the NDA, 95,000 crores plus of assets have been attached. Under the UPA, that number was significantly less, only 5,000 odd crores of assets were attached. So almost 9,000 crore more assets, 95,000 crore more assets, viewers, were attached. Now that is a significant number. Viewers, this is an important one. Had the ED been overwhelmingly arbitrary and was filing cases left, right and centre at the whims of political masters to suit an agenda, a majority of cases wouldn't have ended in conviction. Now here are some hard facts, viewers. On your screens once again, ED conviction rate in PMLA cases is 93%. It's astounding under the NDA. So 2014 to 2023, these are all replies that have been given by the NDA in the Lok Sabha, just the last session of the Lok Sabha. Viewers, look at this other number, and it's a big one. Can ED still be accused of arbitrary unlawful prosecution when so many of their cases have ended in convictions? Also, the CBI, viewers, 75% almost is the conviction rate for CBI. So central agency is doing fantastically well in corruption cases. The other point often missed is that courts have been not too forgiving of those accused by the ED or other central agencies of corruption. A number of opposition leaders tried to have cases quashed against them by the courts but have failed. Here are more hard facts. Let me take you through. The Gandhis, viewers, out on bail. Supreme Court refuses to quash the trial. The case is going on. In fact, some time back, some important interventions happened where documents that one of the petitioners had, he was given permission to submit them. Land for Jobs case, viewers. Tejasvi, Lalu, Rabdi are out on bail. The CBI has filed a second charge sheet. Again, no stay on this particular matter. The Delhi excise policy, Sisodia Singh arrested. We all know that. That's happened over the last few days. Sisodia, of course, was arrested in February. The court has upheld the probe, no quashing of probe, and Sanjay Singh has, of course, been given custody today, 5 days, remanded to 5 days of custody. Anubrata Mondol of the TMC, jailed. The TMC even removed him from his ministerial position. The court once again refused to stall proceedings. Partha Chatterjee of the TMC jailed. This was in the teacher recruitment case. Court has denied bail. Disproportionate assets case, Satyendar Jain, Aam Minister, now of course former minister. Court has again denied bail, and certain observations which are unflattering in nature were made, in fact, against Satyendar Jain. But viewers, there is also one dissonant note to be struck, and I must, in the interest of absolute balance, strike it. Let me walk you through this next graphics. While the opposition's case against the ED on the whole is not very strong because of the facts that I've presented, it is true that when these tainted netas have crossed over into the Bharatiya Janata Party, somehow the pace of the investigations against them when they were in the opposition have slowed when they were in the BJP. And there are a number of instances. This will only provide more ammunition to those who claim a witch hunt today in the opposition, saying that, look, the ED is being used. When some of us join the BJP, then it's all okay. We are whitewashed. Here are more hard facts on that account. They're on your screens. In the Sarda Chit Fund, Himanta Biswa Sarma joined the BJP in 2015. He's now Chief Minister of Assam. He's yet to be questioned. Let's look at some other numbers, names. Narda Sting operation. Suvendu Adhikari, stalwart of the TMC, joins the BJP in 2020, yet to be summoned. Let's look at another case. There are at least 4 or 5 such cases, and big ones. Narayan Rane joined the BJP in 2019, case still open. This is a 300 crore money laundering alleged scam. Let's have a look at Bhavna Gauli, joined the BJP June 2022. This is with regards to the Mahila Utkarsh Pratishthan alleged scam. She's yet to be summoned. So clearly, you cross over, you perhaps get a better deal. That's really what is being said. Now let's very quickly get you what the ED has said about Sanjay Singh, of him being a key conspirator in the liquor scam associated with Dinesh Arora, the approver. Let's go straight across to our reporters on the ground. Now, The central claim that is being made, viewers, and let's break that, 1 crore out of 3 crore bribe paid by Sameer Mahendru given to Sanjay Singh at Vijay Nair's behest. 1 crore out of 4 crore bribe paid by Abhishek Bonapalli, also given to Sanjay Singh. These are other accused, viewers, in this case. CDR, they claim that they have CDR confirmed these allegations, revelations made by Dinesh Arora. 1 crore also picked up from Indo Spirit's office in Okhla. This is very big, massive twist. Arunima joins me for more on this. Arunima, this is a big scoop. Tell us a little bit more about this. This is important information.
So what is that Aam Aadmi Party has said since yesterday? That this is political vendetta. There is no basis for Sanjay Singh's arrest, and there is no evidence. What the ED is now pointing out is that there is hard evidence of bribe money allegedly exchanging hands. And to prove this, in their remand application before the special court, the Rouse Avenue court today, they have given multiple instances, 2-3 of which you just told our viewers. I'm just going to elaborate on that. What the ED says is that since 2017, Dinesh Arora is a close aide of Sanjay Singh. So when he became an important functionary of the Aam Aadmi Party, much before the liquor policy was tweaked, he was already helping Dinesh Arora, Amit Arora and others associated with them in, getting their work done with the excise department. When the liquor policy tweaking started happening, there are at least 3 instances, could be more, but ED has listed at least 3 instances where in separate tranches, crores of rupees were paid to Sanjay Singh. His close aide who lives at his residence, Sarvesh, has taken delivery of 1 crore rupees paid by Dinesh Arora's, employee. And this confirmation has come from the call detail records. Around the same time that Dinesh Arora's employee has told the ED he paid this amount to Sarvesh, around that same time there is a phone conversation happening between Sanjay Singh and Dinesh Arora. And Dinesh Arora then tells ED that in this conversation I had asked him if you have received the money, and he said, yes, Vijay Nair has also spoken to me about it. Vijay Nair is again a key player in this entire thing. Then this 1 crore rupees that has been picked up from the Indo Spirit's office in Okhla, that too was picked up by Dinesh Arora and delivered to Sanjay Singh at his residence. So that is what ED's
investigation. Are you saying, Arunima, that these call data records, there are transcripts of conversations between allegedly the approver and the accused in this particular matter, Sanjay Singh? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm pointing out is that Dinesh Arora is telling ED what happened when this conversation on telephone happened. Okay. And that is corroborated by CDR records, which shows that on Sanjay Singh's phone number, Dinesh Arora's phone number flashes and there is a conversation between the two. So there is corroborative evidence supported by this approver's statement to the ED.
The question I want to ask you is, how did the ED defend itself in court when the defender lawyer came out and said that why now? You've known about this, why now?
I think that is the answer that this money transaction is giving.
Right.
Dinesh Arora had told the Enforcement Directorate officials at least a year and a half back or more that he knew when there was this transaction happening. He had generated money for Aam Aadmi Party at Sanjay Singh's behest. Sanjay Singh had introduced him to Manish Sisodia, taken him to Arvind Kejriwal. All of this was known. What is new is this revelation of how money was exchanging hands. That is the new evidence that ED is citing to prove its case. This is the reason that we have arrested Sanjay Singh. But then there are some few loose ends still. For example, if Sarvesh had received the 1 crore rupee amount from Dinesh Arora's aide, why did ED not arrest him? Why did ED not question him earlier? He has been summoned for questioning tomorrow when he was raided a few months ago. So there are some loose ends still which ED will have to tie up before its next appearance in court. But at this stage, at least with this revelation of crores of rupees exchanging hands, it has a strong case which has been supported by the special court.
Yes, prima facie strong case. We don't know. Let's see what the court says. Let's see what comes out in this interrogation. And perhaps when the ED goes back to seek more time, it'll have to again furnish more details for why. And maybe we'll have more information. But remember, today, the court also asked the ED to furnish more evidence against Manish Sisodia. So there has been it's not all smooth sailing, let me put it that way, for the Enforcement Directorate. And of course, the ball is now very firmly in the ED's court. Let's open this up. Thank you, Arunima. Thank you very much for that very comprehensive update that you brought for us. So there is some reason now to think that the ED has a case. Let me open this up. Let me begin with Piyush Joshi. Piyush Joshi, the charge against the government that you have been making, that is the Aam Aadmi Party has been making, some of those that you're sympathetic of are making, is that the ED is acting arbitrarily. It has had a track record of actually acting arbitrarily, and I've shown some hard facts that when it has a conviction rate so high in PMLA cases, how can you say that the ED is acting arbitrarily? Secondly, the ED cannot register cases on its own. It can only register cases after examining the details once the state police or central agencies, other central agencies register a case of money laundering. It only gets in at second chance or second instance. So can you explain why the AAP is still continuing to suggest that this is a witch hunt?
Well, I'm neither an investigator nor an accountant, so I will only speak on the basis of what I firmly believe and how I've known these people, operating in the public sphere. So that is one thing, and we can very clearly see that Mr. Sanjay Singh's associates have been raided in the past. It has been a few months when his personal assistants and his associates have been raided. And now he has been taken into the custody on the basis of the charges that the only ED is aware about. That they have not been able to prove the quid pro quo.
No, but you said that you're not an investigator, so I'll have to cut you off there. Why are you going back into the case? I asked you a very simple question: can the ED be hauled up for being arbitrary when its conviction rate in PMLA cases over the last 9 years has exceeded 90%, sir? That's a very high conviction rate. You'd agree, would you not?
Yeah, but the pending cases are almost 99.5%, in which it has not obtained any conviction so far. So when we are talking about that, there is a way to look at it. We can look at the glass half full or half empty. That depends upon the way we view it. So since the formation of ED, if you look at the number of cases registered against politicians and overall cases, there is 99.5% cases in which the investigation is still going on. So, and it is funny.
So you're saying that the process is worse than the punishment? They'll open a few cases against you. They'll only take those that they're sure about to court. They'll up their numbers, and then they'll say that, look, it's a 93% or 94% conviction rate. So don't haul us. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, precisely. That is what that is part of what I'm saying. But having said that, as far as the AAP leadership is concerned, the Honorable Supreme Court has made a very, very remarkable comment on the operations of ED that provides certain other evidences against Mr. Manish Sisodia. So
but that's an ongoing matter. That's an ongoing matter. Let me come back. Look, it's also true that all these months, Mr. Sisodia was arrested. Excuse me, sir. Mr. Sisodia was arrested in February. It's an ongoing matter. Even Kejriwal has said today that it's a sub judice matter, and he just want to get into the specifics. All he's saying is that Mr. Kejriwal is kattar imandar. That's fine. It's his prerogative to say that. Even he's not getting into the nitty-gritty. So, Mr. Joshi, I just want to ask you, if it was such a flaky case and investigation, why hasn't Mr. Sisodia got bail till now? Even today, the matter was deferred, the decision.
Rahul ji, we have been discussing the PML Act and its nitty-gritties on your previous programs as well, and on various channels as well. So such is the nature of the Act that it is very difficult to get bail if the ED wants to question, if the ED requests the Honorable Court that we still have to investigate certain other matters. There are certain new evidences which have come to light, and that is the only basis on which the bail is being denied. And when we talk about that the matters are sub judice, the matter in Mr. Sisodia's case is sub judice, the matter in Mr. Sanjay Singh's case is sub judice, the matter in Mr. Satyendar Jain's case is sub judice. Still, we are debating it on national television.
No, we're not debating. We're not debating specifics. So, we are talking about the ED in general. We're not getting into specifics.
I did not get into the specifics. I was just mentioning the Honorable Supreme Court.
Let me open this up.
I didn't say this.
Fair enough. Let me open this up. Fair enough. Let me open this up. Let me bring in Tehseen Poonawalla and Charu Pragya. There's also, of course, the spokesperson from the BRS, and he's there with us, Mr. Mane. So I'll bring them all in one by one. Now, Mr. Poonawalla, let me ask you a straightforward question tonight. You have seen a number of facts that I've put out. The number of increases in the prosecutions, etc., the searches under PMLA, it seems that one government had more intent on the face of it. And this, to suggest that the ED has gone off the rails because it is overly empowered, remember, the origins of empowering the Enforcement Directorate go back to 2005, the UPA years, when an amendment was made which allowed the Enforcement Directorate to arrest, gave them powers to arrest, to use confessions, to seek further obvious detainment, etc. All of these stringent changes that made the ED more powerful was done in the UPA.
Not true. May I please respond, Rahul? Thank you, and grateful for being on your show. You're right on half of the fact that 2005, when Mr. Chidambaram was the Home Minister, the Finance Minister, these amendments came in and the UPA passed it. You're right on that. But what everyone misses out on is when ED was passed under 2002, Prime Minister Vajpayee, then strengthened subsequently under UPA, the aim of this law was for money laundering for terrorism. Today, under Enforcement Directorate, Rahul, take me very, very seriously. Even copyrights is an offence. And these further amendments happened in 2018, 2019 via a finance bill. It didn't even go to Rajya Sabha. They passed those amendments under finance bill. These are draconian. And this is an actual argument made by the ED in Supreme Court. It says, look, we are not even a police force. Then under what law are you arresting people? And the burden of proof in the ED, Rahul, has been turned around under Narendra Modi ji's government. So you're guilty until proven innocent. So there is a massive problem with ED.
This matter, Mr. Poonawalla, was raised by a bunch of opposition parties before the Supreme Court, who sought to amend the amendment made in 2005 and subsequently, and the court rejected their petition. You know this too.
But what did the court say within that rejection of the petition? And I was there that day in court. The court said, come to us on a case-by-case basis. And on a case-by-case basis, allow me, Rahul, to finish, because they said we can't have an arbitrary amendment, which the courts don't have the power to. So whether it's Sanjay Raut, whether it's today what happened with Manish Sisodia, whether it's what happened with Abhishek Banerjee a few days back, and other cases, the courts are now coming down heavily. In fact, what is very worrying, I'm just going slightly off before I come back on EDs. Delhi police is now following ED's thing and not even giving you an FIR. So even FIRs are not given to the accused. But look at the case of Sanjay Singh, because this is a specific case that we are here to discuss. And I firmly believe it had gone very viral when I said this to you. ED should rename itself BD or Bajrang Dal because it acts like an arm of the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Okay, I need to step in here because in the past, the Enforcement Directorate, I think it was the CBI sued a politician and an anchor for saying certain things about it. So I just want to say that we distance ourselves. No, that's fine. We distance ourselves from Tehseen Poonawalla's attempt to go viral, but we definitely distance ourselves from that. But let's bring it back. Let's bring it back.
And I think the ED acts as an arm of the BJP, and they can come to court.
Look, that's fine. That's fine. You're saying it, not this channel. We've brought you on, that's fine. But look, I just want to ask you, if that were the case, Mr. Poonawalla, let's go toe to toe on this. If that was the case, why is the Aam Aadmi Party celebrating, or why did it celebrate when the Enforcement Directorate filed cases against TMC leaders? In a press conference in Calcutta, when it had decided to sort of contest that election there in 2021, 2022, I think, they stepped into the field and they said that the TMC must present itself before the Enforcement Directorate to answer the grave charges, number one. Number two, in Punjab, it arrests Mr. Khera. I don't want to get into the particulars of the case, but you will remember that that case, the original complaint was filed by the police in 2016. It was picked up in 2021-22 by the Enforcement Directorate, 21 in fact, by the Enforcement Directorate. They picked up Mr. Khera for further interrogation, etc. He was arrested, he gets relief from the Supreme Court. That investigation becomes the basis of the Punjab SIT to go after Mr. Khera again and arrest him, despite the Supreme Court saying, well, he should be given immunity. So one second, at that time the Congress came and said that the AAP was using its own powers to harass. So, when the shoe is on the other foot, it's okay. When it begins to pinch the up, then it becomes problematic. Can you explain this?
No, you can't. You're right, Rahul. What do I debate with you on this? You're right. Because, Rahul, these political parties, why
now you can't distance yourself. You came out and said that the ED is used by X and Y.
Rahul, please allow me. I have a point, and it's slightly grey, and I can only make these grey points on your show. Others are very black and white. Your point is your show is slightly intellectually stimulating and challenging. You're right. The reason why a fraudulent government like the BJP, which has actually completely destroyed our economy, continues to remain in power, lack of opposition unity and long-sightedness. I agree with you. The Congress celebrates AAP going in jail, AAP celebrates, TMC celebrates. Congress, they are not united. That is a point. That is a fact. But that does not take away from the fact that there has been terrible misuse by the BJP. Terrible misuse of this agency. Draconian misuse. Rahul, I want to correct you on one fact.
Very quickly, how come the court, the Supreme Court, that is the conscience of this country, hasn't stepped in? Yeah, I'll just bring you in. Hasn't stepped in and said that the ED is also a caged parrot. They haven't said that. They said that about the CBI under the UPA. Let's open this up. Let's open this up.
Please allow me to make 2 points. No, 2 points.
Okay.
I want to correct you on your 93% conviction, but before that, 2 points. The fact is, whether it is Shri Himanta Biswa Sharma ji, under whom BJP removed a white paper, Shri Ajit Pawar ji, under whom BJP removed a white paper, Shri Y.S. Chaudhary ji, whom BJP MP said got money from all sorts of dubious people, Bhavna Gavli or Narayan Rane. When they come into BJP, they either become witnesses or the investigation stop. You said that, and it's not this, and it's EDs used to break down governments like in Maharashtra. But let me correct you on the 93%. This 93% conviction of these 26 odd cases that are convicted, all these 26 cases were filed when UPA was in power. The charge sheet was filed under BJP. Under BJP, under 2014 to 2014 to 2022, how many cases charge sheet? No charge sheet. Where is Kartikeya Chidambaram tennis court? Where is DK Shiv Kumar's 9 crores?
Let me bring
I'm asking you.
Charu Pragya, respond.
Stories. Where is that money?
Respond, Charu Pragya. Where is the money? Where are the proceeds of crime? These are just long-winded cases that are filed, and the process is worse than the actual punishment. That's the charge.
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists and all our viewers. The first thing I want to say is, let's remember, even today the Honorable Supreme Court has remanded to the ED the custody of Sanjay Singh. Let's also remember that Manish Sisodia has still not gotten bail, and the very same Arvind Kejriwal who stood in defense of Manish Sisodia turned around, did a complete U-turn within a day, took away his titles, took away his positions, even took away his house the minute he realized that obviously ED had evidence, otherwise this person would not have been arrested. The same thing, I assure you, is going to happen in the case of Sanjay Singh. Also, why are we trying to keep the two cases different? It's the same liquor scam. So let's keep these two netas in connection. Let's talk about Manish Sisodia plus Sanjay Singh. Let's also remember that Aam Aadmi Party is a completely controlled party by Arvind Kejriwal. Do you think that even the wind can blow in his party without his express approval? Obviously not. So all the links go back to Arvind Kejriwal. I have said it before, I will say it again. For those who are saying that why is ED investigating this and taking so long, let me tell you, there are questions whose answers do not add up, and the opposition spokespersons choose not to speak about this. The number of liquor sale went up exponentially. The number of liquor shops went up exponentially. But what happens to the profit to the exchequer? It's down. The government actually loses over 2,000 crore rupees, and this is in a RTI reply given by the Aam Aadmi Party. The commission goes from 2.5% up to 12%. The companies which are gotten are actually blacklisted companies.
Okay.
The cabinet approval.
Let's not get into the specifics.
Policy was
Charu Pragya, let's not get into the specifics.
No, but I'm getting into it because these are the reasons.
These are
the reasons why.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Now, ma'am, so this matter is before the courts. It's a matter of investigation.
Yes.
You will repeat all of this. It gets amplified.
And I respect that.
We have to, there is something called innocence before you're proven guilty. So let's maintain that maryada on the show. I'm just asking you a simple question. And that question flows from the data that I have pulled out. When individuals who are accused of corruption in opposition ranks join the BJP, then what happens? These cases sort of peter out. Why?
So, Rahul, also, when you were giving out all this data, I want to also say that only 3% of cases of ED are against politicians. Nobody chooses to talk about the remaining 97%, and a whole narrative is set that the ED is behind politicians. So, it's not even 3% of the cases. Also, let's remember that there was a time when our Honorable Prime Minister was being investigated. He sat through questioning for 10 hours, 12 hours. Did he complain even once? He was given a clean chit finally, decades later. You did not see the BJP complaining like this, taking to the roads, actually celebrating somebody's arrest like it's a jashna happening on the streets. That is what Aam Aadmi Party is doing today.
Go through the trial by fire, says Charu Pragya. Why are you politicizing a probe now? Look at the numbers. Look at what ED is doing. Okay, let me bring in the BRS spokesperson, Mr. Mane. Mr. Mane, I want to read out a statement today by Congress President Revanth Reddy. He says, PM Modi is constantly visiting Telangana, but it's of no use because people know about the friendship between PM Modi and KCR. Their bandhan is Fevicol. Fevicol bandhan, FB. Everyone knows how much loss Telangana has endured due to this Fevicol bandhan. Why ED and income tax are not conducting probe against the KCR family? The Congress once again turning to the ED to say, prosecute your leader. How do you respond to this, sir? Clearly, the Congress has great faith in the ED when it suits them.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, the whole of Congress protested outside the ED for Rahul Gandhi at different governor residences, including Telangana also. But here, probably to defeat Chief Minister KCR just before we are going to polls in a couple of days, they want KCR in jail because Congress party cannot even get their deposits or even come closer to BRS if KCR is there outside. Now, both the things, I mean, why we call it witch hunting, if I keep the Congress aside for a while, why we call it witch hunting is because till now, we are not accused, we are not named accused, we have not been arrested, though the Congress is desperate that we have to be arrested. But we have Honorable Prime Minister, we have Honorable Home Minister, who come here to Telangana in their election speeches, call us, accuse us of corruption, charge us with corruption, while we are still not arrested. But the point is, you want to align with Kumaraswamy's party, you have called them corrupt party when you have campaigned in Karnataka, you have campaigned against the NCP, against Ajit Pawar, you called him the corrupt, and today he is your Deputy Chief Minister. Chautalas are in your government too. They have been associated with you. They have been corrupt tainted. So why cherry picking? Why doesn't rule of law apply for all? Why is it that you use this for your political speeches? And yes, when this, I'll have to point out, Rahul, not just Revanth Reddy. When Prime Minister recently came to Telangana and gave a speech that, the Chief Minister wanted to join, immediately, who endorsed that statement? None other than Rahul Gandhi himself. Rahul Gandhi said that I have been saying the same thing. So, does that mean that Rahul Gandhi is endorsing Narendra Modi ji's statement? Does he believe in Narendra Modi ji? Because yesterday in the Congress's official national Twitter handle, they have tweeted that Narendra Modi ji is lying, Narendra Modi is a liar. So Congress doesn't have a stand. Congress calls Mamata Banerjee corrupt when they are campaigning in West Bengal.
What you're referring to is moral corruption, double standards, the politics of convenience. All parties have a blemished, unfortunately, track record of this, tying up with people who they used to abuse a day before or accused of corruption. My question to you is very simple. If the ED is so corrupt and it is so pliable, as you're suggesting, and if the Prime Minister himself has come out and made an allegation against your Chief Minister, your boss, why hasn't the ED called him and summoned him?
Call the Prime Minister?
No, call your Chief Minister.
we are ready for it. Please do come. See, Kavita ji has cooperated numerous times, be it whichever wing, not just the ED, CBI or IT, we have cooperated, we have answered to your questions.
No, sir.
Not just
you're
once.
not,
And
you're
this
not
is
getting my
happening from
question.
1.5
My
years.
question is straightforward.
1.5 years.
If the Prime Minister accuses Mr. KCR of being corrupt, why hasn't he had the ED? If you claim that the ED is just a byword for the government, why hasn't the ED summoned Mr. KCR? It's a simple question.
Well, if you see the Modi's operandi, beside Kejriwal ji, you see the top leaders, they are being disturbed and not the Chief Minister.
No, but
It's
in
always
the
beside-
Congress, the
beside-
Gandhis
when-
have been.
when you want
the
Nitish
Gandhis
Kumar
have
in
been.
control.
No. In the Congress, the Gandhis have been prosecuted. In RJD, Lalu Yadav and his clan have been prosecuted. In TMC, Mamata Banerjee's close kin, her nephew has been targeted.
Exactly.
No, one
Rahul,
second.
Rahul,
in
Rahul.
NCP, the top leadership has been brought under. So that doesn't bear out what you're saying, sir. It's not as if he creates an exception and leaves the big boss alone. That doesn't work. Mayawati, Samajwadi Party, Akhilesh.
Rahul.
Yes.
Rahul, your target is Mamata Banerjee, but you pull in Abhishek Banerjee. Your target is KCR, but you want to target his daughter. Your target is
Okay.
Sharad Pawar, but you want to, charge it Ajit Pawar.
Let me ask
your
you.
Target is
Let me
Uddhav
ask you a
Thackeray, but you
specific
have pulled
question.
in
Let's open this up. Fair
Sanjay
enough. You haven't answered the basic premise of this debate, and that premise is very straightforward. Are you suggesting, and if you are, can you give me two facts that prove that the ED works? Statistical facts or hard facts that the ED works to a plan. Can anyone do that? Let me begin with Tehseen Poonawalla. Tell me, Mr. Poonawalla, one fact, one hard fact that disproves the BJP's claim that the ED is autonomous.
In the case of the Karnataka ex-MLA Mr. Prashant Mandal, the Lok Ayukta received found 6.73 crore rupees in his house. Cash. Rahul, you and I, none of us in this panel have seen such money. It was written to the ED to investigate. Nothing has happened. In the case of Himanta Biswa Sharma, where BJP put a white paper out, as an accused, he's been made a witness. And he's not been summoned after that.
Okay. Charu
So
Pragya,
why is
respond.
Chaudhary's case? Their MP, GVL Narasimha Rao, wrote money. That money is coming from dubious places. He's today with the BJP.
Charu Pragya, how the ED mentioned about this
Yes.
gentleman that Mr.
yeah.
Poonawalla is referring to, we know about him. They put out a tweet, and that tweet is still available on the net, says 5,000 crores he has misappropriated. He's today in your
So,
party. Where's that case? The money is
Rahul,
dried up.
So tell me, is the case being closed? Has he been given a clean chit? Why are you spreading
No, but he
this
hasn't
fake
been summoned.
information, Tehseen?
He
The
hasn't
case
been
goes
summoned.
on. And no, but he will be. So let
When?
ED function by itself independently like it has been doing, because here the greatest defense the opposition can come up with is that why was an XYZ questioned. Now the ED will get to that. The one who's being questioned, you've not had anything positive or anything even meaningful to say about that. You don't want to talk about Vivek Tyagi, who was a parliamentary secretary of Sanjay Singh, who was given massive stakes in Amit Arora's company. You don't want to talk about
look,
all those
those are
things
again, I've
which
said,
have been
viewers,
put on
I'll need to
record.
take a short break, but I just want to come in here. Look, viewers, there is no doubt that the ED has been selective in its approach. The numbers tell you. But if you just go back into time, as I began by saying, viewers, even under the UPA, fewer number of opposition netas were charged or interrogated or prosecuted. So there seems to be a consistent thread here. Except in this case, viewers, in this case, it appears that the Enforcement Directorate, by the sheer dint of the fact that it has been able to still proceed in certain matters, suggests that it at least prima facie has cases against some of these individuals. There are problems, viewers. The selectivity is a problem. It needs to be examined. It needs to be looked at, and it does point to certain tough questions. But given the fact that those cases haven't been shut down, suggests that prima facie there is an issue to contend with. I'll take a short break. When we come back, India corners Canada. We're coming right back to that.
From Bollywood who will be summoned, a list of about 17 people, Bollywood A-listers, who have helped this app by promoting them or participating in that high-profile wedding, and all payments have been made through Hawala transactions. There are a number of Hawala operators also who are part of this racket. ED plans to question all of them to figure out what is the extent of this money laundering that is happening. 5,000 crore is the rough estimate, but the number could go up, is what ED officials say. They've already attached property worth 417 crore, arrested 4 people, carried out searches at multiple locations. There is a non-bailable warrant from a special PMLA court in Chhattisgarh, in Raipur, against the promoters, based on which ED is also wanting to get a red corner notice issued. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. What the ED officials say is that this betting app and the way it was operating, the tentacles of it could be running deep into Indian society, from the top level of Bollywood right up to slum dwellers in cities like Mumbai and Delhi. Mahadev betting app has once again grabbed headlines because Enforcement Directorate has asked actor Ranbir Kapoor to be present before the Enforcement Directorate and answer some questions. But how does this app really work? What is this app all about? As per Enforcement Directorate, which has been probing the Mahadev betting app, this is an umbrella syndicate which provides online betting agencies, platforms, and betting happens on everything under the sun. It could be on political results as far as elections are concerned. It could be on the weather on that particular day. It could be cricket matches or the success of a particular Bollywood film. So anything that you want to bet on, Mahadev app actually provided you some online platform to put your money on. How was this app really functioning? What the ED investigation suggests so far is that the head office of this app is in UAE, but its tentacles are spread across the world. There is a connection with Netherlands, Sri Lanka, Nepal, UAE of course, and then there are operators in Delhi and Mumbai in India who are helping this app operate. The modus operandi seems to be twofold. One, slum dwellers, people who are in the low income group, mostly unsuspecting people, their UPI IDs are taken by those associated with this app. In return, they are paid some money, but their UPI ID is then misused to launder money. The second way in which this app works is that if you want to bet or if you want to participate in online betting, you are given numbers of call centers. These call centers, have been traced to various countries, Netherlands, Nepal, Sri Lanka, UAE, to name a few. And when you call these call centers, you are sent a WhatsApp number. On this WhatsApp numbers, bank transaction UPI details are to be shared, and once the bettor actually shares his UPI or bank details, then some money is transferred into his or her account, making that player satisfied that he is getting a return for the kind of money that he has placed on the betting app. But that is only step one. What really happens after that? There are a panel of operators associated with this betting app. The numbers being put forward right now is 4,000 to 5,000 panel operators, each one of whom are earning about 150 to 200 crores through this modus operandi. And the ratio of profit sharing with the Mahadev app promoters is 70-30. So 70% of the total earning is transferred to the promoters, 30% of it is kept with these panel operators who are associated. That is broadly the modus operandi on which the Mahadev app is working. Even payments that are being made, there are a lot of celebrity endorsements to make this app popular, make this gaming app popular, betting app popular. There are celebrity endorsements, and ED suspects that they are all paid through Hawala channels. So the money that they are fraudulently earning, they are trying to round trip it and pay it to celebrities via Hawala channels. That is what Ranbir Kapoor is likely to be asked as to how was the payment made to him when he was promoting this particular app. This entire racket actually came to forefront after one of the promoters' wedding in Dubai, in the UAE, caught attention. About 250 crore was spent on that wedding. cash payment in dirham was made. The wedding planner was also paid in cash worth, hundreds of crores of rupees. There was a private jet that was hired, and that money also from Nagpur all the way to Dubai, family members of Saurabh Chandrakar, one of the, promoters, they all flew down in a private jet. Ravi Uppal is the second promoter. These two are based in UAE. The headquarters of this app is in UAE, but we are told that there is also a Pakistan connection. These two promoters were trying to, launch a similar betting platform in Pakistan as well, and that has set the alarm bells ringing. Why is ED concerned? Why is government concerned? Because on the face of it, this looks like just an organized crime racket, but could it have links with terror? The moment you talk about betting and you have links with Pakistan, automatically the alarm bells are ringing here in Delhi. So that is exactly what has happened in this case. Ranbir Kapoor may not be the first and the only one from Bollywood who will be summoned. A list of about 17 people, Bollywood A-listers, who have helped this app by promoting them or participating in that high-profile wedding, and all payments have been made through Hawala transactions. There are a number of Hawala operators also who are part of this racket. ED plans to question all of them to figure out what is the extent of this money laundering that is happening. 5,000 crore is the rough estimate, but the number could go up, is what ED officials say. They've already attached property worth 417 crore, arrested 4 people, carried out searches at multiple locations. There is a non-bailable warrant from a special PMLA court in Chhattisgarh, in Raipur, against the promoters, based on which ED is also wanting to get a red corner notice issued. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. What the ED officials say is that this betting app and the way it was operating, the tentacles of it could be running deep into Indian society, from the top level of Bollywood right up to slum dwellers in cities like Mumbai and Delhi. Mahadev betting app has once again grabbed headlines because Enforcement Directorate has asked actor Ranbir Kapoor to be present before the Enforcement Directorate and answer some questions. But how does this app really work? What is this app all about? As per
Viewers, the diplomatic crisis between Bharat and Canada has significantly deepened today. It's taken a turn for the worse after the Ministry of External Affairs came out and held a press conference, making it very, very clear that Canada would have to comply with directions to remove 41 of its diplomats posted in the High Commission in the Union capital and elsewhere in some of its consulates. This indicates a hardening of stand on part of New Delhi that has clearly told Ottawa that its continued stubbornness in the face of India's appeals to crack down on Khalistani separatists on its soil is not going to be appreciated. What does this mean? What does this mean, viewers? Why is Trudeau risking or sacrificing his country's national interest, which will only be enhanced by an association with India, at the altar of domestic political compulsion? Why is he doing so? Let's open this up. Let's have a conversation. And clearly, viewers, India doesn't seem to be under any international pressure, because if they were, they wouldn't be escalating this matter. They wouldn't be pushing these diplomats out of the country. Something is happening behind the scenes. The Canadians have expressed a desire to hold secret talks with New Delhi, which suggests that they perhaps are also looking for a way out, a face saver out of this crisis. Let's open this up. Joined by Terry Milewski, is an author who's written extensively on the Khalistan separatist movement in Canadian soil. There's also Lieutenant General Sanjay Singh, who's a defense analyst, who's with us. Good evening, gentlemen. Let me begin with you, Mr. Milewski. My question is simple. Very few world leaders sacrifice their own country's national interest at the altar of political compulsion. Why is Trudeau doing this? Clearly, it's not about freedom of expression. You would certainly not want New Delhi, for example, to start championing the cause of Quebec in Canada.
You're right, we certainly would not, but you have to turn this question around before you go too far. turn it around and consider what would happen if it were discovered by Canadians that Mr. Trudeau knew about an attempt by a foreign country to come into Canada, murder a critic, and disappear and hope to get away with it. And he didn't say anything about it. He kept mum because he didn't want to sacrifice Canada's commercial interests in a free trade agreement, better relations with India. He didn't want to sacrifice that just because of a principle of defending Canadian sovereignty. He'd be in big trouble. And bear in mind that prior to this, Mr. Trudeau was indeed in trouble with Canadians because there had been Chinese interference in Canadian elections, but it benefited the Liberals, so that was okay. So he got in deep water over that, and against that background, then this comes up. His intelligence people are telling him, look, it looks like there was somebody with something to do with the Indian government. We're approaching them at the official level. That had something to do with this murder of Mr. Nijjar, and our private talks have been going nowhere. The National Security Advisor has been to New Delhi. They don't deny these allegations, but they're not helping in the investigation. They're not cooperating, which kind of implies that maybe there might have been higher up involvement. That's what this is about. That's why Trudeau went public. But my point is that there is indeed a principle at stake here, and that is national sovereignty. India wouldn't like it if a Canadian gang of hitmen came to India, rubbed out somebody that we didn't like in Canada, and expected to get away with
Mr.
it. That's
Ministry,
not the
are you
kind of world
jumping
we
the
want.
gun? Are you jumping the gun by making that analogy? We have no proof. Mr. Trudeau comes out in the public domain, comes out in the public domain, makes a scandalous charge, some would say a scurrilous charge here in New Delhi, without offering an iota of evidence, and he still hasn't.
I agree with you. I've been very critical of the government right from the start because I think they should reveal their evidence.
Maybe there isn't any. Maybe he's grandstanding. Maybe his political compulsion is forcing him to take a stand such as this. We all know what happened a few months ago, viewers. In fact, even in Trudeau's first iteration in office, when these Khalistani pressure groups, etc., made him back off on his own government's, government's detailed report on the threat that these militants pose to Canadian sovereignty, viewers. And Mr. Ministry is talking about sovereignty here. So I just want to bring in Mr. Lieutenant General K.J. Singh. General Singh, how do you respond to what is happening right now between India and Canada? It's quite clear that India has got its tail up, and it's got its tail up only because perhaps its moral position is stronger than Canada's.
Rahul, Jai Hind, thanks for having me on your show. Like Kenny was trying to tell us that we are perplexed. Nobody can understand why is this man, Justin Trudeau, blowing up everything which was going so smoothly. Indo-Pacific, which was emerging as an alliance. There are very mixed signals. His number 2 in the army, Major General Scott Davis, he came to India. He took part in that 2-day meeting. So everything in that environment was being orchestrated for a wonderful partnership. And here he goes and closes it up. And he has suddenly exceeded his brief under the vote bank politics. And see, India has a legitimate reason to get upset. In Punjab, we have so many incidents, extortion, murders, bomb blasts, which are traced back to Canada. And those arsonists, I would not call them anything but that, are not even tracked. What to talk of bringing them to book? They are finding shelter.
Exactly.
So we are, and their embassy has been highly overstaffed. If you had these many people and you were looking at our concerns, okay, we will allow you more. But when you are not looking at our interests, we are giving you proofs, we are giving you dossiers.
And this courage, General Saab, this courage comes from 2 places. Number 1, that Canada has not been able to build the coalition of willing to pressure New Delhi, number 1. That's very important. Let's not set that aside. And secondly, because perhaps the Canadians have faltered. They've shot without actually checking if they had another bullet in the belt. So their pistol is empty. They don't have the proof. They haven't been able to present it. And India has insisted on its innocence. And when you're innocent, you can occupy the moral high ground. India can speak from a position of strength. Remember, it's the Canadian Foreign Minister who is now saying publicly that they want private talks. They insult India publicly. They want resolution privately. Strange. Very strange. Trudeau is under a lot of pressure. Let me tell you, viewers, let me tell you that. It's quite clear that he's been wagged by the tail of a big coalition partner. It's happened before. It's probably happening now. I'll leave it at this. Anand Narasimhan with the right stand coming up. Don't go away.
Namaste, Jai Hind and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narasimhan. In poll-bound Rajasthan, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurating IIT Jodhpur campus. The campus is spread over 852 acres of land and is situated on the Jodhpur-Nagpur-Nagaur highway. IIT Jodhpur is built at a cost of more than 1135 crore rupees to provide high-quality holistic education. And of course, it's a building infrastructure for supporting research and innovation initiatives. A future-driven institute with 10 departments, 3 schools, 5 centers and 6 interdisciplinary programs. PM Narendra Modi